Here he is, Bob Fagan.
Can you hear me all right? About the same time that we started our journey for the Bluezones was about the same time I found out I had a health challenge that I didn't know existed. Should have, but I didn't pay attention. Last December, I went in for my annual physical, and I would encourage everybody to get an annual physical. As the doctor ticked through the things that was going on in my life, he got to the very end, and he said that you need to go see a kidney specialist. Well, that probably was the worst thing that anybody could say to me, because about 8 years before that I was diagnosed as the type 2 diabetic. Thought I was doing okay, but over the years didn't quite pay as good attention as I should have. It also brought memories back of my dad, who was a type 2 diabetic. He didn't follow anything, and he didn't live a long life. Towards the end of his life, part of his body parts were taken. Eventually his kidney shut down, and I remember watching him there up to dialysis machine and said, that's never going to happen to me. Well, guess what? I'm going to a kidney specialist. So I head home, tell my wife about that, and I said, but I'm still kind of in denial. I don't think that's really the case. That couldn't happen to me. So I went back and asked the doc if I could have another test. It wasn't any better. So then I went back home, and my wife said, I know you. I'm going with you when you see that specialist because you won't pay attention. Probably true. And she also said one thing. And how many of you are grandparents here? Yeah, there is no sweeter words to me than hearing the word Papa, or our newest grandchild that calls me Pops. So we headed off. As what she said to me is that if you want to see your grandkids graduate, go off to college, and eventually walk down that aisle, you better pay attention. So we headed off to the kidney doctor. My mind's racing, this is it. I should have paid attention. It's all over. I didn't say that out loud. I just get, yeah, everything's okay. But I'm sure my wife knew that probably wasn't what I was thinking. We get there, and like many doctors, they're very busy. The doc's got phone calls going on. He's pulling the files out, and he finally opens up the file, and he says, wow. We look at each other, my wife and I said, what the wow you mean by wow? Put your own words in there. He said, Bob, your kidneys are functioning at 1/3 of its capacity. And if you don't get this taken care of, you're not going to have a very good life from this point. That got my attention. He said, here's the good thing, Bob. You got a physical on a pretty regular basis, and it's very uncommon that you get kidney disease that quick. He said, so here's the deal. He said, I think you're having an allergic reaction to the medicines. And it's like, well, which one? This one, this one, this one. And he said, I can take a biopsy of your kidneys and maybe find out what's going on, but chances are it's not going to tell me which one of those medicines that you're taking that's it. I could take you off one at a time, and eventually we'll get it. Or I can take you off all of them. It's like, how? I assume I'm taking these medicines for some reason. He said, I'm going to take you off all of them. So it had my attention from the minute we walked outside that office. We had to start making because if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't have made these things, as she kept reminding me of my grandkids. Made some different changes. And whether it's coincidence, whether it's divine intervention, it happened to be the same time we're working on these Bluezones techniques. And you talk about one of them, which is move naturally. I learned to walk again. I've walked and not paid that much attention, but you get pretty tired. What is it? I'm closer to 60 than 40 now, and you think, yeah, that's okay to be okay. It's not okay. And so it was very hard to start walking again and trying to work that up. And I got to actually know our community better, which sidewalks don't work real well. And slowly but surely, I started feeling a little bit better. You talk about plant slants. I thought I hated salads. I really did. I don't. As it turns out, when I go to a restaurant and they don't put fries on my plate, I don't ask for them. I start to eat that stuff, and now I specifically order the salads with it because it tastes better. And then here's the grandkid thing, and I'm going to use my good friend Steve to help me with this. There's that rule about the 80% rule, and what do you guys say at your family sometimes to remind you of that, Steve? Or maybe your daughter can say that. Yeah, what do you guys say? Hari Hachi Boo. You know what I say? Maribel and Violet, those are my granddaughters. And every time I sit down to eat, I think about that. I can't imagine not being there for them. So you can see I get very passionate about that. Well, I'll speed it up because I was only supposed to have 3 minutes, and I probably exceeded that. In August, I went to get my my results of 8 months or whatever it was to getting through this. I walk into the door, same doctor, same stuff, same busy guy. He gets out the charts, and this time when he says wow, it was a different wow. He said, you know what? You don't need that diabetic medicine anymore. You don't need that blood pressure anymore. You don't need that cholesterol medicine anymore. Now go out and live your life. So if you think these things are just things on paper, or these guys came here to waste their time, they're not selling us anything. They're doing this for us. So I think when these guys leave, I think you should give them a big round of applause, because I know they made a big difference in my life. And I don't want you guys to wake up someday and wonder what happened to it. I ran a 5K this year that I never thought would be in it. I didn't win. Got beat by third graders. But I did pass one lady because my competitiveness got into it. I was on the radio the other day, and I made some comparisons about us in the Blue Zones and how exciting tonight could be. And just think about it, there's 999 cities or something like that in the state of Iowa. We are one of 4 communities that have got this far. There's a lot riding on us. And you know what? I know there's some people from Spirit Lake, and I wish you well, but I'm competitive. I'm not afraid of it, and neither should we. We want to be the first certified Blue Zones community in the world. We want to be leaders in this state of Iowa. We do want to make those healthy choices. And I challenge all of you tonight, when you go, think of whatever is important to you. Mine's my granddaughters and my family, which is also a Blue Zones thing. You put them first. But you think about that. And you think about things that you think can't happen. If you'd have told me I could have rode the bike, how far did we ride? 45 miles one day, and we didn't die. So next year we're going to ride at least one leg in Ragbri. We're just going to keep adding to things. Instead of your life winding down, I'm going to be one of those 100-year-old guys that think, hey, you know, I want to hold my 100-year difference to my great-great-great-great granddaughter someday. So thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate you guys listening to me, so thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bob. And that is a remarkable story. And if you don't mind, I'm kind of on the hot seat right now. We have to kill about 90 seconds, so would you mind helping me? Do you want to dance?
I did that once tonight.
All right. Well, you're all in luck then. Go ahead. Have a chair. Have a chair. We're not done yet, but we need to kill a little bit of time. And I noticed in your story here tonight that you talk very passionately about your family and your granddaughters. Now, do they live up here with you, or where are they at?
They live in Cedar Rapids.
They live in Cedar Rapids, so a ways away from here. Do you get to see them much?
We try to see them about every other week.
Every other week. Well, that is incredible. You know, it's too bad that on a special night like this in your city of Spencer, Iowa, they couldn't be here. Or, pardon me, but I think they are. Go ahead and take a look right over here. Looks like your daughter and your granddaughters. What a surprise. Now, why don't you go ahead and, you've got your hands full, why don't you go ahead and tell us their names here? A proud grandpa.
It's okay. This is Maribel, and this is Violet. And these are the people that have given me the inspiration, along with my daughter, to try to make these changes in my life. So
And now your wife can take a deep breath. She had to keep this secret for a long time. Bob Fagan, our city manager, and his family. And now, my friend.